Hey students, second year students, how's it going? Today we're going to look at a part of Unit 10, okay, on both, neither, and either, okay. So this is useful to make comparisons, right? To talk about things that are similar or the same, okay. So I hope you enjoy the lesson and let's go. Okay, students, take a look at these two pictures. Okay, you can see there is a woman reading and a man reading. Okay, the question here is, in what ways are men and women's reading habits similar in your country? And how much do men and women read? And what do they read? Fiction or non-fiction? Okay, so if you're with someone, right, pause the video and take 2 minutes to talk about this, okay, to generate some ideas. And if you're on your own, just take 1 minute to think a little bit about those questions. Okay, pause the video and then we'll continue. Okay, so here you can see we have a bar graph. Okay, this bar graph is on reading habits for women and men, okay? Or let's say rather, yeah, women or men or teenagers, okay? So it's in Australia, Australians 14 years or over the age of 14, okay? And in 2 years, 2010 and 2015, okay? We have two categories here. We have um, reading novels and we have reading non-fiction books. Okay, and here we have an overview, right? Let's look at this overview together. It says neither year was as productive for men as for women. Okay, so um, if you look at the data here, right, in all the categories, women read more than men. For example, here we have read a novel, right? You can see in the blue is 2010 and the red is 2015, right? For reading novels for women, right? And that is higher than reading novels for men in both those 2 years, right? And the same happens with reading a non-fiction book, right? For women in 2010 and 2015, it's higher than for men in those 2 years. Okay, so here I am summarizing the data in my overview. All right, and also both gender groups were reading fewer books by 2015. Okay, so if you look, the red 2015 in each category is always lower than the blue 2010. Right, you can see that it decreased here for women in the novel category. For non-fiction, the same, it decreased. And for men, the same. Look, for reading novels, it decreased for between 2010 and 2015, and also for reading non-fiction books, it decreased in both from between 2010 and 2015. Okay, and well, here we're focusing on the language especially. Okay, so notice how we can use neither, both, and either, right, to show that categories are similar. Okay. Okay, let's take a closer look at both, neither, and either. So, we use both, neither, and either to talk about two things. Let's take a look first at both. Both plus a plural noun plus a plural verb. The example we had was both gender groups. So gender groups is a plural noun, takes the S. Were, that's the plural verb. Reading fewer books by 2015. Okay, now neither or either takes a negative meaning. Okay, so it's neither or either plus a singular noun plus a singular verb. Okay, the example we had, neither year, so year is a singular noun, right? Was, singular verb. So contrast that with were, which was the plural verb, right? And groups, which was a plural noun. Now we have year, singular, was, singular. As productive for men as for women. Okay, and with either, non-fiction books were not as popular as novels for either sex. So the difference between either and neither here is that here we've got not. Not is already negative. And in English, we don't use a double negative usually. So we have not either, right? In contrast, for neither, the N in neither gives you the negative. Okay. Okay, now, another form we have here is with of, right? So it's both of, right? Or either or neither of, plus the, plus a plural noun. For example, in both of the years, okay, that's your plural noun, non-fiction books were not as popular. Okay, the other one is we have also both of or either or neither of plus them. So we can use a plural pronoun here, right? So instead of non-fiction books, which is plural, we can substitute this with a plural pronoun, right? For example, both of them were reading fewer books by 2015. In this case, them refers to gender groups. So it's the same as saying both of the gender groups were reading fewer books by 2015. Okay, students, so let's practice that. Can you fill in the gaps with both, neither, or either? And use of where necessary. Let's do number one together as an example. It says, with a popularity rating of only 10% for men and women, the sexes favored watching westerns. Okay, so 10% for men and women. Okay, so both, right? And here we have the sexes. Okay, so we need also to use of, right? So both of the sexes favored watching westerns. Okay, so do the same for 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? Remember both, neither, or either, and use of where necessary. Pause the video and we'll check together in 3 minutes. Okay? How did you do? Number 2, sex generally preferred science fiction, which was viewed by a modest 10% of men and only half that figure by women. Okay, so 10% is low, right? And only half that figure by women, so only 5%. That's even lower. Okay, so So what is similar here is, did they prefer? Did men and women prefer science fiction? No, right? So we have to negate this. Okay, so it's neither, right? Neither sex, right? We don't need to use, or we shouldn't use of here, right? Because there's no need. We don't have the. It's just neither sex. Yeah. Remember that with neither, then we have the singular noun here. Okay. What about number 3? Action films were popular for the male and female gender. Okay. Okay, for them, this genre was among their top 2. Okay, so it's clear, right? So both male and females liked action films. Okay, so here we have them, pronoun. So it's for both of them. You need to use of when you use the pronoun them. Okay. Number 4. Overall, comedy was the second most profitable genre in the box office, being watched by 1/5 of, we have gender groups. Okay, so gender groups is plural, right? Okay, so what we're saying here is that comedy was popular, right, for both men and women, right? Okay, being watched by 1/5 of both gender groups. All right. You can also say both of the gender groups, but it's not necessary. Yeah. Number 5. In terms of westerns and science fiction films, with only 10% of male viewers, men didn't watch a lot of. Okay, so 10% is low, right? So men didn't watch a lot of. Now, okay, here we want to use didn't, did not, right? That's already negative. Okay, so it's didn't watch a lot of either genre. Okay. Okay, students, that's it for today. So I hope that was useful for you. That was so using neither, either, both related to Unit 10 of the Global Pre-Intermediate coursebook. So this language is going to be useful for you so that you can make comparisons, right? That you can talk about how things are similar or the same. Okay, and I hope to see you again soon. Okay, have a great evening and bye bye.